Good morning, one and all. Hope you are well. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is the other side. So welcome to the stream. I'm a little bit, it's just where I am at the minute. So this is Can Jim Get Slim? Because Jim needs to get slim. Can you hear me all right, first and foremost? Because the microphone here is, in fact, what I can do is get slightly lower now. I'm sure I've messed up with the camera. I'll tell you exactly where we are this morning, where I've started. So my intention was, we've got a walking machine. It's not a running machine, it's something that you can sort of walk on. Something that Mrs. Ramble wanted a while since. Something that, some people have for when they're working at home and things like that. My intention was, thank you, mate. Thank you, Matt, for letting me know you can hear me. Matt Lockblade. The intention was to be walking while I'm talking to you and going through my numbers and stuff like that. I'm too heavy for the machine. I'm too heavy for the walking machine that's supposed to help me get fit. Because it's not moving right. I don't know whether I'm pressing wrong buttons, but it appears as though it stops when I stand on it. So that's where we are. That is there's things I need to talk about today that is very, very uncomfortable for me. But I think it's important because I'm pretty sure, maybe not to this extreme, but I'm pretty sure other people will be going through similar to what I'm going through. And some might be in a worse situation. I'm sure some are. Thank you, love. A lovely brew brought by Mrs. Ramble. And I'm really unhappy with myself. And things like this morning where the machine just does not work and you think that is how far gone I am. And it's a real kick, and then it's hard to stay. It's not hard to stay motivated because obviously your goals just got even more sort of in your face, but it's how you translate that into progress, how you don't let it set you back. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit this morning because I have just I pushed it back because I thought I want some visual, not cues, but I want to be able to put it in context what I'm doing here, and why I'm doing it really. So this is for those that aren't aware, we've teamed up with S20 Gym and personal trainer Finn McNamara. So I've been with him for about 4 weeks, I would say, maybe a touch longer. But to be honest, the first couple of weeks were really just education and getting me back into the swing of things. I didn't expect to drop a load of weight, but I'm going to go through my numbers today with you. And it's embarrassing for me personally. A lot of people will be bigger than me, people will be smaller than me, and there'll be different people that feel in different ways. But I think it's important sometimes to be vulnerable. And I also think that this will give me accountability. So I am nervous about this. It's the first time I've been nervous for a stream in about 2.5 years, something like that. But this is, I think it's important to have these conversations because this not only clearly affects my physical health, but I think it's pretty obvious to most now, seeing me on screen talking about it as openly as I'm trying to be, it has a massive detrimental effect to my mental health. And I say this as I went out last night for a curry with my dad and my brother, because you can't not, in my eyes, I would rather lose weight slowly, and I don't mean enjoying myself as in all the time, but I don't think you can go on these like extreme diets. We're not going to be doing this fitness kick with any sort of assistance from Monjaro or Ozempic. Not because I don't agree with it, to be completely honest with you, because I can't afford it. So that would be something else. That's how desperate I am to lose some weight. But how desperate am I when it comes to putting the work in? Well, I will put the hours in to get to and from the gym because Finn is giving up his time to coach me and educate me, and it's a 72-mile round trip to get to and from the gym from my house, and that's how much I value his input, is because I'm willing to do that at least twice a week. I'm going to try and get more, but it's just fitting it in with the schedule, which you heard about yesterday. So yeah, it's tough at the minute, and stuff like this morning, just before I go on, is typical of the the state that I'm in, and I'll call it a state because that's how I feel. So the goals then, what are the goals? It's to lose weight. It's to get fitter and to feel better. So one thing I can say is I am definitely getting fitter already. I've not, as you'll see at the end, we'll come to my weight at the end because I think that's obviously the one that everybody's keen to hear. And it's not a big reveal. Trust me, it is not a big reveal. It's not something that, you know, oh, great job, Jimmy, and all that. In fact, probably quite the opposite. But I think there's context to it. I want to lose weight because I want to feel better within myself when I look in the mirror. I want to get fitter so I can be more active with my family and doing stuff. We went and we go and play football on fields every now and again, and all these sort of little bits and bats because girls are into football now, certainly playing, and it's nice to be able to run around with them for a little bit longer than I've usually been able to do and stuff. And again, there's all these sort of like little incentives that build towards a bigger picture. I just want to feel better in myself. You know, we've started. I can't do it every day because of my schedule, but we've started walking to collect girls from school and just little things like that. We'll start trying to go for a walk on his lunch and things. I need to keep doing that. I need to keep doing that to keep me motivated. So what is my why? My why is my mental health and my physical health. Probably more so my mental health, if I'm honest. It really does affect me. I want to be more present with my family as well. That's something that I just feel it affects me in so many different ways. And I hope, I don't hope, but I'm confident that I'm not alone in feeling like this, which again is a huge reason to why I'm putting myself out there, not only for the personal accountability, but also to let people know that it's tough. It's tough, this, particularly when you're at the start like I am. I'm at the very start of this really tough process. And again, when you see something like this morning, it just, can you ever see a light at the end of the tunnel? And this is part of the challenges. Motivation for one. I went to the gym yesterday and I did well. I did obviously with Finn. I'm going back today with Finn because of my schedule, and I won't be as good because it's back-to-back days and I'm not ready for that yet. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm aware that I'm not going to be able to possibly even do what I did yesterday, even though we'll be doing a different workout, because I don't want that to affect my motivation and make me think, oh, well, I'm taking a step back. My discipline is huge. So my diet is poor, really poor. I've always had a poor diet in terms of I don't eat a lot of the right things. And I wouldn't say I eat a lot. I just, what I eat is bad. And then when I feel guilty about it, I will starve myself to the point of, I'm starving, I'm ravenous now, I need to eat something, and I'll binge. And that is the worst thing you can do, particularly if it's later on. So yeah, we are often victims of the takeaway and stuff like that in our house. And that's largely due to me. So yeah, need to sort that out if I'm honest. The stats, where are we? I'm 41 years old. I'm 6'1", and I have a poor diet, and I'm inactive. And this, I'm going to come on to my weight now because it's this is the one that when because it's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing, but it's where I am, and it's the truth, and it's transparency into it, and it's what we always try and be across our channel, is just open and honest. Starting weight was 298 pounds, 21.2 stone. That is horrendous for me to let myself get to that position. I'm ashamed, I'm embarrassed. I think I've always been able to get away with carrying weight quite well because of my frame up until about 18, 19 stone-ish. And I think I've sort of coasted on that. And I now find myself here where I certainly don't carry it well. I don't think anybody could carry that particularly well. But yeah, that's where I started. And drum roll for where I am 4 weeks later on the journey. 2 pounds down. And why is that? Why am I only 2 pounds down, 21.1 stone, as I stand here today with what is probably now a broken walking machine? What is I knew you'd panic at that, so I've just been distracted. What? What do you mean you broke my running machine? I haven't, love. I haven't, but it's not working for me because I'm too heavy. That's basically the scenario. Yeah, I've not made much progress in terms of weight loss, and why is that? That is down to me. That is purely my inability to stick to and it's not that I've gone completely against any advice or anything like that. I've taken all the advice on board. It's just very difficult, and to be honest, I've been punished now. Not punished, that's the wrong word to say, but Finn has now cut my calories to 1,700 calories a day. And it's hard to do, but I'm going to try and do that. And I think it's important that I try and stick to it. But sticking to it is in the gym and the actual hands-on work. Don't mind it. Getting stronger. Most days, or certainly most weeks, we're increasing the weight, and we're in terms of what I'm lifting and pushing and things like that. So my body is getting physically stronger, and there might be a little bit of muscle build in here, and I've lost a little bit of fat, but we don't do any cardio at the minute other than what I'm doing outside of the gym. So I have to focus on what I can do when I'm not just in. I can't just rely on a couple of gym sessions a week with a PT to make me drop all this weight. I have to do my bit, which is the ill discipline on. I want to take that off. I want to take that off screen. That's how I feel about it. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave it on because it's accountability, isn't it? So this will come down. This will come down, and this is partly the uncomfortable position I wanted to put myself in this morning. Because it's accountability, and it's you're wide open, aren't you, to everybody there. So I'm not going to. I promised I'd go through up numbers, and I have. This is part of the journey that I'm on. Again, I'm at the gym today, and we'll keep you posted on how the journey's going. But this is the very start, really, where I lay everything out and I tell you where I am. And now it's how do we progress through it, and how do we. And if people want to join me by doing this, you're more than welcome. It's not it's not a one-man band by any means. I'll need people's support, I think, in a lot of ways. But this is where I am, and this is an open book as to how I feel currently about it. And this is, if I can tackle this and get myself down, look, there'll always be some issue that I'll find to worry about, but this will be the ultimate in sort of one of the biggest hurdles I've ever faced, really. So this will come down. That 2 needs to be a 1, and that second one needs to be around a 7. I think probably that's what I've got roughly in my mind. Even though Finn says I can't have a target. I'm just going to read some comments. Christian, good morning, my mate. He says morning, everybody, and yes, mate. Batman Lou says morning, all. Jim, have you had your fish and rice cake yet today? No, but do you know what I'm going to try? I'm going to try. We've got Big Shop this morning. For those of you that joined us up Morning Brew, sorry about that, Dad. But for those of us that joined us up Morning Brew yesterday, we've got Big Shop today, so I'm going to try overnight oats. That's what I'm going to try, because I quite like a bit of like the fuel porridge and stuff like that. I quite like that sort of stuff, and that sets you up nicely, doesn't it? Matlock Blade says, can hear you fine. Thank you, my mate. Nail on the head, Jim. The honesty and accountability was a big thing for me when I started my weight loss mission. Couch to 5K and intermittent fasting was the way I did it, but you need to find what works, and more importantly, what is sustainable for yourself. Absolutely right. That's so key. Best of luck with it, mate. Total respect for undertaking this project in front of the camera. You're a braver man than me. Mark Meldrew says, morning, pal. Doing it for exactly the same reasons as yourself. I'm in a difficult period at the minute regarding the gym due to confidence and finances stopping me, which is annoying. I'm remaining determined. I'm 19 pounds down now. Brilliant, mate. Well done. So proud of you. Food is at 70%. Food is 70% of it, they say. Oh, sorry, and he says, I'm feeling much better in myself. Food is 70% of it, they say. Being consistent with it, but the training is an issue for me. With you every step of the way, mate. So me and Marco are doing it for the same reason, and we're on opposite ends of the spectrum. So he's very disciplined outside of the gym, and it's working for him. 19 pound down, and I'm 2 pound down. So he's winning. Not that it's a competition, But and that shows you, doesn't it, really? Because I'm very disciplined and push myself in the gym, which I'm not in very often, admittedly. I need to get a gym membership closer to home. I think that's the way I might have to do it, because it's just not practical for me to get to S20 all the time and keep going with Finn. I need to keep going with Finn. He's been brilliant, and I'm learning all the time. But that's where Mark struggles in terms of the gym work and confidence and things like that he's talked about. So, mate, these things will come. These things will come, I'm sure. And Ian says, "You've got this, Jimmy. We're all behind you." Thank you, my mate. I know, yeah. I have no doubt, because I know what a brilliant community we're a part of. I've no doubt people will be supporting me, and it's not, come on, help me. But I'm just being open and honest with people that might not be as. Like, a couple of people have been brave enough to say that they've done similar. And I don't want to necessarily inspire anybody, but I want people to know that it's not. You're not on your own with these sort of struggles and problems and all this sort of thing. So, yeah, I've got a long way to go, and that in itself is quite daunting, and that sort of wobbles your discipline at times and motivation. But there's only one way to solve it and get on top of it, and that's do as I'm being guided by my coach, because he looks like he does for a reason, and I look like I do for a different reason. I'm not. It's all right thinking you know how to lose weight, but I haven't done it so far. And there'll be, I dare say, there'll be a few people watching that are in a similar boat. So, like I said, thank you to everybody. You've got this, pal, says Meldrew. Happy to keep talking to help, mate. Thank you, my pal. Look, I'm going to leave it there. I wanted to be as open and as honest as I could do this morning. A really difficult stream, which I anticipated it would be. But it's real life, isn't it? And, if I was being open and honest with my mates, sat around at a table, I'd be having this conversation. So, yeah, that's where I am. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.